have a crazy question for you. Did you brush your teeth today? Good morning, good afternoon. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel, Save Money More with Jan channel. What does that have to do with the price of fish? Absolutely nothing. But I am talking about habits. Brushing your teeth upon waking up is one of the greatest habits ever, not to mention after every meal, and flossing and all the other good stuff that goes with it. Today, we're going to talk about the 9 frugal habits that are worth your effort and has absolutely saved money. How's everybody doing today? I hope that this audio video, as always, finds everybody doing well. I'm grabbing my trusty notebook with my bullet points. So if you hear some little rustling, I'm sorry. All right. Okay, so let's get right to it. Buy food strategically. That's basically like, for example, how many over the years that I've been on this platform, how many videos have I done to point out about great ways that we could save on groceries at the grocery store? So it really is a strategy if you think about it. So it is a strategy. I have my fan on over here. I hope it's not giving you distorted noise. Let me shut it off. Okay, there you go. Because sometimes those little waves in the air could cause a little, all right, hopefully you're hearing me just fine. Yeah, so shop strategically, have a plan, check your inventory. It's always worth repeating this information. Check what you have. Buy things you absolutely do need. Of course, get some of the things that you want as well. Okay, but the needs go first. All right, that's one thing. Next, lower your housing expenses. Okay, that's that's a guaranteed way to absolutely to keep everything at bay. If at all possible, find ways to lower your housing expenses. Not easy. Never said it was. Never said it was. Sometimes you have to forfeit certain things, like live with less space, for example, or go into a neighborhood that perhaps you may not be too familiar with, or you see where I'm going with this. But sometimes that extra effort, it might cost you a few more minutes drive to get to work, perhaps. I'm not sure. But look into it. If there's any way that you could lower your housing expenses, I say it's worth it for sure. Now, creating and sticking with a budget, you would think, that's a common sense thing. Everyone keeps a budget. Everyone sticks to their budget. Not really. A lot of people talk about budgeting. They talk all day about budgeting. I'm not sure if they keep a budget. I do believe, for me, I could speak for myself, that for myself, I'm comfortable having that budget. I like having that bit of a roadmap in front of me, or a spending plan, whatever way you prefer to call it. And tracking my expenses is very, very important. In fact, I'm probably going to do a video in the not so distant future in reference to wins and loss rather, for February. Yeah, there you go. Probably in the not so distant future. I'm just saying. All right. Use coupons, loyalty programs, cashback apps, anything you could find that literally, I mean, like in the literal sense, in a practical sense, literally helps reduce your spending and you get benefits from, is a good thing. That's just an in general in life thing. That's part of the mindset too, to be on the lookout for those things. So if you could get help that way, hey, why not? Reduce or cut back on your discretionary spending. That's one of the reasons there's so much focus on grocery store savings. That's an area of discretionary spending. That's not the only area, however. That's not the only area. For example, how about going to the movies, entertainment, right? That's part of discretionary expenses. It's not like I have to, I must. Don't get me wrong. We all like doing these things. But when we say we must, we must go to the movies. We must, or we'd like to go to the movies. Let's think about that for a bit. So that is discretionary expense, for example. So it's part of your life. Entertainment is part of your life. Paying for entertainment is something you could control. Switch or consider switching to a minimalistic lifestyle. There are so many videos and people and channels that specifically discuss minimalism. Search out a few of those videos. You might really pick up something that really resonates there, even if you don't like adhere to the whole thing of it. But like there might be a point or two about minimalistic approaches that could be very, very helpful in terms of a frugal habit. It really could be. So give it a listen. Now this one, some people might like, some people may not like, some people may agree with, some people may disagree with. What am I talking about? Eliminating streaming services. Now, eliminating is a powerful word. Eliminate is to completely get rid of, like completely get rid of. I don't know if I'm for the idea of completely getting rid of. If you're using a streaming service, okay, in lieu of the dinosaur called cable, and you actually utilize it and it's actually worth your while and it's part of your perhaps entertainment expense, if you think about it, right? Then I say, okay. But if you have all of these streaming services and the truth be told, you're not home enough time to even use it, then I would totally think twice about keeping it. You see, I'm not against streaming services. I am against just having services that you use all the time, but you're not really using all the time. Services that you're paying for all the time, I should specify, but you are not using enough of. Think about that. Are you actually using that streaming service? Only you can answer that question. But it's worth, considering. Always go shopping with a list. Can't tell you how many times I must have mentioned that on prior videos, but I don't presume that everyone has listened to all of my prior videos, considering there's close to 3,000. Yeah, I said it, 3,000 videos. Did I really do this? Yes, I really did. I didn't hit the 3 yet officially, but I'm darn close to it. Couple of hundred, maybe less than 200 away from it. Yeah, 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 yeah. However, in all those instances, I have certainly at least once a video week have absolutely, reminded the folks about go shopping with a list. Stick to the list. Now, some people may say, that's not good, sticking to the list. I say, why is it not good to stick to the list? Well, what if? Well, I don't know. What if the sky turns purple and ice crystals form I don't know. You can't live with the what if attitude. If you're on a tight budget, and I really mean this from the bottom of my heart, if you're living on a tight budget, you can't live for the what if. You have to plan for that this is the way it is. That may not be so popular. Now, will it? But at the end of the day, it's the most practical and the one that makes the most common sense. Okay. Common sense is huge in my mind's eye. So you might occasionally come across something that is, really, really a great deal, a manager special. Plan for that. Maybe give yourself a planned list and plan an allotment of, let's say, a $5 wiggle room for that kind of thing. That's fine. You're still in control of your grocery budget. I'm just saying. All right. And of course, buy generic brands. There's nothing wrong with if you're still afraid to try because you're just so used to the packaging, the colors, the name brand. I know it's like an old familiar friend. I get that. I grew up in those days when I was a kid and my mom was wheeling me around in the shopping cart. I remember my Bosco, and I had to have my, remember that? That was a great syrup. Uh, it was a chocolate syrup. It was amazing up in the Northeast. I don't know about the rest of the country. And I remember certain things. And of course, my chocolate snaps from Nabisco, which my dad worked for that company at that time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember all of this, old familiar faces and packaging. And back then, they really didn't introduce the idea of store brands till about the late 60s and early 1970s. It was strictly name brand when I was a child. So folks from my generation, anybody can relate to this that's about my age, okay? I'm somewhere between a 6 and a 7. I'm just saying, all we had were name brand products. So in our generation, we were so and are so used to name brand products. I'm just saying that we didn't open up our minds enough to, I don't want to try that. I remember the first time my mother brought home a not name brand ketchup. I remember having a hissy fit. I literally had a hissy fit over it. I looking back, oh, I don't want to try that. Ew, that can't be good. Of course, kids with their irrational thinking over ketchup back in the daytime. Talk about my generation. Oh my word. Then my mother's like, tastes just as good as the other one, and it did. So when I finally did try it, it was totally a-okay, totally a-okay. Um, but when I could get the name brand things on sale, I will. If I could get them on sale, old and familiar stuff that I'm used to, pretty colors, pretty packaging, I will get it. If I get a great price, I will get it. But that's the thing. When do you get the great price? Look out for them. You have to be aware of these things. These are trying times at the moment in terms of grocery shopping. I mean, I hear some stories about egg prices and unavailability at the time of this recording. I'm recording in late February of 2025. So hopefully somebody's going to hear this down the road and say, what is she talking about? Yeah. Well, that'd be a good thing. That'd be a good thing. But in any event, it is absolutely helpful about these 9 frugal habits, and they really are worth the effort. And they really help save money. Let me know some of your frugal habits. I would love to read them. Thank you so very much for being here. I really do appreciate everybody's time. Don't forget to consider subscribing. And really, really important for the algorithm, click like. What does it take? A nanosecond? Click like. Doesn't cost you anything. Click like. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.